had style, you had class, you had everything to make love last. You had grace, you had charm, you had me hanging on your arm. But now I found out you were a snake. You ran up and bit me like a snake. But I wasn't ready to let go. Let all my feelings show. Why you wanna be so cool? Why you wanna be so mean? You got to let your true colors show. You're a perpetual blues machine. Hey guys, today I want to look over Perpetual Blues Machine by Keb Mo. It is such a cool song to play on acoustic guitar, and you can do it all by yourself because that's how the recording goes. So I hope you like this song. It is really, really cool. Keb Mo's got a lot of cool acoustic stuff, so let's just dive right in. It's really 3 parts. It's like a verse that's kind of going over, and then there's kind of a pre-chorus, and then there's a chorus. Okay, so it's not like a traditional 12-bar blues, but it's still very, very bluesy. And so I think you'll really like this one. So it's in A. So the beginning of the song, we're going to do the intro real quick. It kind of just goes like, and again, this is just what I'm hearing. So if I'm missing any parts, let me know in the comments below. I'm always trying to learn myself. So if you think there's any parts I'm missing, let me know. But it kind of goes like this at the beginning. Alright, so what I'm hearing there is you've got an A chord, okay, just a regular A chord, and then what you want to do, and this is a finger picking song too, what you want to do then is you want to use this A chord. What I'm doing is just barring everything from the D, G, B, and high E on the 2nd fret. Then I'm playing with my thumb on my right hand, I'm playing that bass A and letting that kind of dead pick that. And then what you do, as you're picking on your right hand, you're using your pointer finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger to kind of stay on that D, G, and B, and sometimes that high E when you hear it. But what you're going to do on the left hand here is you're going to put the middle finger down on the 3rd fret of the B, and then you're going to put your ring finger down on the 4th fret of the G. And then what you're going to do is you're going to slide that up. Okay, so you're keeping that same shape to where your middle finger goes up to the 5th fret of the B, and your ring finger is going to go to the 6th fret of the G. And you're going to slide and pick that a couple of times. It's okay if you get that high E, in fact you want to, kind of sounds nice. And then you're going to just play the G string. You're going to slide down from the 6th fret down to the 4th fret, and then the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you're going to play the D. Alright, so what would that be? You can also throw in that 4th fret of the D string there before you go to the 2nd fret of the G. Then, this is going to be a shape that's going to be key for this whole song. Okay, so what this is it's a D7 with an F sharp over it. So you're going to use your middle finger to grab the 2nd fret of the low E, and then you're going to use your ring finger to grab the 2nd fret of the G string. Then you're going to leave the D string open, and then here's where it gets interesting, because on this B string you've got a couple options here. You see Keb Mo do using his pinky to get that 3rd fret of the B string, and then also using your ring finger to get the 1st fret of the B string, and then also open. So what you can do there, you can hammer on to the 1st fret of the B string with your pointer finger, and then bring it down to that 3rd fret on the B string. So however you want to do that, you kind of play around with that. But it's all those notes there. And then you're just going back to an A. What I like doing the intro is the first time you do that, so So then you can use this shape, very like Robert Johnson-y. So this is what it looks like. So what that is you're plucking an open A string. Then you've got the 5th fret with your pointer finger of the D string, 6th fret of the G string with your ring finger, and then 5th fret of the B string with your middle finger. Just adding a little bit of that first slide that we did there. And then go back to your D. And then, he doesn't do this when he does it, I just like to do this, but I do a walk down after that. It's just, but we're gonna need it later, so we might as well just do it now. Okay, so what a walk down here in A is you're gonna pluck the A string with your thumb of your right hand, but then you're gonna keep this. You can use your pinky or your ring finger. You're gonna keep it rooted on the high E string at the 5th fret. Then you're gonna take your middle finger and you're gonna start this walk down. So you're gonna pluck with your thumb the D string in the right hand, and then with your pointer finger you're gonna get that high E string. So then you're gonna keep that ring finger or pinky planted firmly on the 5th fret of the E string. You go 5th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the D string, 3rd fret of the D string, 2nd fret. Okay, so see how this never moves. Okay, and that's a walk down. And then you do an E7. All right, and now you're ready to start the song. Okay, so that's kind of the intro. So then, the verses are, so this I think it's like verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So let's start with the verse. It's really simple actually. It's just. It's that simple. So what it is a shuffle in A. So what you're going to do is you're just going to be playing the A and the D string. So you're going to put your pointer finger down on the D string, and then you're going to shuffle with it. Okay, so what that is when you go, and that's just the ring finger coming down on that 4th fret of the D string. You had style, you had class. What I like to do after you sing a line, so if you had style, you had class, you do a little walk up here. That is going to be, you pluck the A string, and then you go 3 on the A string and 4 on the A string really quick. And then you play that 2nd fret of the D string. So it goes like this. Alright, and so then you play that. You had style, you had class, you had everything to make a love last. So when he does the change, it's just a D. What we already learned, that D7 with the F sharp, and kind of hammering on to that 1st fret of the B string. All right, and then so that's, you kind of repeat that over and over again. Then you get to before you go into a chorus. And you can hear this in the song. Before you get to a chorus, instead of going to that D, you're gonna go to a different chord here. So okay, right here. So you ran up and bit me like a snake. I wasn't ready to let go and let all my feelings show. Now I call it pre-chorus because like you're going into it. Now this is probably the hardest part of the song, I think just because I hear these notes, but maybe there's a different way to play this. This is how I do it, okay? So when you're going into like that last line before a chorus, you're gonna hit a B7, and then, so you're coming out of that shuffle, you're gonna go B7, and then you're gonna do an E7. And this is where it gets tricky. Right as he's going into the chorus, you hear these notes. So what I do is I keep the E7, and I use my pinky. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that, technically your pointer finger is pointless at this point, but I just keep it because I'm just used to that feeling. But you don't have to keep that pointer finger there if you don't like to. But anyways, you're going to go 2nd fret of the G string, and then you're going to, this is the hard part here, you're going to slide all the way to the 4th fret of that G string right there, and pluck it with the low E string. So you go 1st fret of the G string, 2nd fret, 4th fret. and then you're ready to go into the chorus. Okay, chorus is pretty simple. Why you wanna be so cold? Why you wanna be so mean? You already know that. That is the intro. So it's the D7 over F sharp with the licks you already learned. Now, you do that twice, okay, like you did in the intro. Then where it gets different is, you wanna let your true colors show. So what that is you're playing the D over F sharp, and then you're just gonna hit your pointer finger. You're gonna pluck the 4th fret of the A, 3rd fret of the A, and then you're gonna hit this chord, which I think is like a F sharp sustained or something, but you can let me know in the comments below if you know. So what that is you're gonna use your thumb. I use my thumb. You can figure out a way not to use your thumb, that's fine. But I use my thumb, I come around and I grab that 2nd fret of the low E. Then I'm gonna skip the A string, I'm not gonna play that. And I'm gonna go pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the D, and then middle finger, 3rd fret of the G. And you're gonna pluck on your right hand, you're gonna pluck the E, D, and G, and then if you hit the B and the E, it's fine. Okay, so it's, you gonna let your true colors show. And then it's a B7, you're a perpetual E7 blues machine. And then guess what? Plug the A string and you walk down. And then you just kind of repeat that. So that's kind of the basics of this song. You can add your own flavor to it. The A minor pentatonic is great. Actually, A major pentatonic, stumbling on my words there, is also great. So either way you want to do that. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and let me know in the comments below.